Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box. Now, as someone who loves comedy and loves music, I always have a soft spot for musical comedians, whether it's Dana Carvey's songs, the great Sam Kinison, Spike Jones, the list goes on and on. But I also love it when comedians, not necessarily known for music, do something mocking music, but they do it in a way that's so nearly completely accurate that it's just hilarious. And if it enters the wider pop culture lingo, all the better. And that's what happened. Hold your breath because it feels like yesterday, 25 years ago this week. Yes, 25 years ago this week, the More Cowbell skit was born. Now, most of you have heard the phrase. I'm sure most of you have also seen the skit, and it's of course a parody of what it might have been like when Blue Oyster Cult were recording their Agents of Fortune album in 1976, and in particular the smash hit from that album, "Don't Fear the Reaper." Now, when you listen to that song, and nowadays I think you probably can't help it, you will hear that not particularly high in the mix, but it is there. There's, a 4/4 cowbell part that really is just keeping the pulse throughout the song. And again, it's surprisingly not that high in the mix, but it is most certainly there. Now, on this Saturday Night Live sketch, Will Ferrell is the cowbell player for the band. The band didn't have a dedicated cowbell player, but there you go. And he kept, as they did it, more and more takes. I don't know why I'm describing this. You all know what it is. But for those of you who are, too young to remember, God help us. The joke is that as they do multiple takes of the song, his cowbell part keeps getting louder. He keeps playing it louder, and it's pissing off the other members of the band. But then the producer goes up to them and he begs them for more and more cowbell, and the result is a cowbell celebration. More cowbell being the line. Now, what's fun about that is it gave a track that, to be fair, in the early 2000s was still doing the rounds on classic rock radio. It turned it into an absolute cultural mainstay. It gave it a second life. And now that the internet is filled with more cowbell memes, and now that the phrase itself has entered the English language, I would say that it's given this song a third life. Now, Blue Oyster Cult had a number of good hits. Godzilla was a great hit. They had some great albums. You can watch my video about their early albums that I've done on this channel. But you could make an argument that that skit helped Blue Oyster Cult remain in the consciousness of rock and roll ticket buyers. Shouldn't the band was good enough on their own. They shouldn't have needed that, but it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. And that comedy sketch really put them front and center. And so what's great about that is comedy and music are actually quite similar because both of these things are best made for the stage. Of course, people record comedy albums, people record music records, but it's really when you're in front of the audience and you see them rocking along or dancing or listening intently, and for a comedian laughing and clapping and all the rest of it. And it's always nice when the comedians can help out the musicians and the musicians can help out the comedians. Um, it's hard for me to think of any other musical meme this powerful. I would say more powerful than the Rickroll, more powerful than anything, because it really has staying power that was born in the age of the LP, survived the age of cable television. I know it was a network show, but you get what I'm saying. And then it's alive in the age now of internet memes. So rock on, and of course, more cowbell. A like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.